Sex coach or sex therapist, which is the right choice? So there are some things you'd like to improve about your horizontal tango. Or maybe there are actual problems that you and your partner are kind of sweeping under the rug, figuring eventually they'll iron themselves out, right? Or there's a thorny issue that you two keep fighting about. Either way, you have some improvements to make. And instead of ignoring it and experiencing this problem for the rest of your life, letting it ruin your happiness in your relationship, you know you need to go to an expert for advice. But who exactly should you call? Ghostbusters? If the sex problem is caused by a ghost, you should probably call Ghostbusters. But should you call the sex therapist down the street or a sex coach who specializes on that specific issue? Which one is going to help you to become the best lover? Who is going to help you to overcome your unique issues and ultimately give you the best sex of your life? And is one better than the other? Hi, I am Caitlin V. I am a sex and relationship coach and an intimacy expert. And today I'm going to break down the difference between what I do as a coach and what sex therapists do. And no, I am not biased. I do not think one is better than the other. They are different. I have tons of experience and so much respect for my sex coach and my sex therapy colleagues. And today we are going to talk about the differences between them and how to choose which one is right for you. If you want daily sex tips and advice from me, check me out on TikTok and on Instagram at CaitlinVictoriousX. Knowing whether to go to a sex coach or a sex therapist depends on, number one, the issue that you're facing. Number two, how quickly you want it resolved. Number three, whether there's deep trauma involved. Number four, whether you're trying to fix a problem, achieve a goal, or both. Number five, how much of the past needs to be explored for things to improve. With that in mind, what is the difference between a sex coach and a sex therapist? Well, a sex therapist went to school. They do continuing education. A sex coach may not have gone to formal school. Like myself, I did, but full disclosure, I have a master's degree in public health and sexual health research, which is not the same as counseling. That said, most coaches that I know have graduated from the school of life, and they have vital lived experience that they use to guide their colleagues. And for most of us coaches, we've invested tens, some of us hundreds of thousands of dollars on our own personal development, our own coaches, our own work. I mean, after all, I would feel like a hypocrite if I didn't. The downside is that for coaches at large, there is no board or regulating agency. So you don't actually really know how qualified the coach that you are hiring is. You basically have to interview them and figure it out for yourself. Although it is fair to say that just because you have a degree or a certification in something doesn't mean that you are good at it. You need to definitely interview a therapist as well. A therapist has to play by the rules because they have to follow the laws for the licensure wherever they are practicing and the boards that they are authorized to practice. That means that they may be forced to apply the same technique or method to every single problem that shows up at their office, and they're not as able to take into account the unique characteristics of your situation. But this can actually be a positive because they do use established systems that tend to work for specific problems, like CBT or cognitive behavioral therapy or dialectical behavioral therapy, DBT, which require special training and are evidence-based to work with specific challenges. So a sex therapist might be the better move for you if you feel certain a specific methodology, something that is empirically researched and evidence-based, and you know works for many people with a specific challenge that you want help with. And let me know in the comments if you've ever worked with a sex coach or a sex therapist. What was your experience? And would you recommend your experience or your professional to others with the same problem? All right, back to sex coaches. You see, on the other hand, sex coaches do not have to follow any specific playbook. And this is definitely my favorite part about my job. It means that I can become skilled and knowledgeable in so many different areas and methodologies that are designed to help my clients. And I get to apply them in exactly the way that I feel is right without being concerned about whether or not I am staying within the guidelines of my licensure. This is really the coolest part about my job is I get to paint with all of the colors of the rainbow. I get to pull in empirically researched and evidence-based techniques all that I want. I also get to talk about things like energy and chakras. I get to do guided meditations and visualizations. I get to do sound-based work, and we get to crawl around on the floor and scream like animals if we want to. It is so much fun. So a sex coach actually might be better for you if you just care that it works and you're not super specific about using empirically based methods. If you can trust someone and their intuition and their specific experiences and the things that they've picked up along the way that they are going to apply to you, then a sex coach may be a fit. All right, so sex therapists, they tend to focus on what's wrong. That's their job. But unfortunately, this can have the effect of making you feel like you're broken or damaged goods. And sometimes this feeling, this reinforcement that something is wrong can actually slow down and stunt your growth and development. I'm speaking from my own experience of being in therapy for a long time and always searching for a problem or something that is wrong that we need to pull apart instead of sometimes focusing on what is working and what feels good. Sex therapists tend to focus on why things are the way they are, why the problem exists. They focus on past events, behaviors, or attitudes that led you to this moment. And this sometimes has the effect of dredging up old issues and problems that, sure, they may be affecting the current situation, but sometimes it just so happens that we can let sleeping dogs lie and we don't have to excavate the past. This sometimes has the effect of dredging up older issues and problems that may or may not be affecting the current situation. And if that dredging doesn't end up being very healing, you can end up leaving your sessions feeling worse than you started. A sex coach, on the other hand, focuses mostly on the positive things that you want to accomplish for the future. We do a lot of educating. We try to fill in the gaps of know-how and awareness. We may even spend time teaching you specific sex techniques or tools, demonstrating them on a doll or going over anatomy and things like that with you. We have the power to do that within our sessions. We also spend a lot of time inspiring and cheerleading. In case this is your first time seeing me and you're not subscribed to my channel, just know that I spend a ton of time cheerleading. In fact, I like to think of myself as coach, cheerleader, adoring fan, and player who's sitting next to you on the bench, kind of all in one. My goal is at the end of every session, you literally feel lighter and more enlightened. However, a sex therapist can help you to overcome trauma, especially if they are trauma trained. A sex coach can help you with deep-seated stuff, but we are generally not licensed in any capacity or certified to work with deep trauma. So sex coaches who see that you've experienced significant trauma in your life have an ethical duty to point you towards a trauma-trained therapist. So, which one is better for helping you achieve your goal and building a better sex life? If you have a single focused issue you need help on, go to a sex coach. Sex coaches focus on a specific and specialized issue. For example, I spent years exclusively working with men who struggled with premature ejaculation, and I would venture that no other coach has as much experience as I do with helping men last longer in bed. In fact, I put everything that I learned from all of these years working with men and my 98% effective method inside of a course, an online course that you can start today, right away, called Come When You Want. It is the culmination of all of the work that I did with hundreds of clients that I found to be effective at helping them build stamina, build confidence, and become incredible lovers, no matter how bad their premature ejaculation is, how often it happens, and what they have tried before. I recommend that you check it out if you've ever struggled with this problem. It is the best thing that I can literally offer for any man who wants to last longer in bed, and it comes with a 90-day money back guarantee. All right, back to the subject at hand. What if you want to heal from a trauma? Go to a sex therapist. Once again, if you go to a coach looking to heal trauma, they should be immediately directing you towards a sex therapist who can help you with that. Now, don't think just because you have trauma in your past, we all do, that a coach cannot help you. Many coaches are trauma informed, some even have specific training in trauma healing, and some are super qualified to work with people who have had trauma. But if you are trying to work on trauma, if you need to work on a sexual trauma or a traumatic experience, or a whole series of traumatic experiences like a history of abuse or neglect, going to a sex therapist is the right move for you. What if you want to accomplish a goal or get better at something? Go to a coach. Sex coaches know how to get you where you want to go. We are goal oriented. It's often said that therapists look at the past, where coaches look at the future. We can help you to set and accomplish your goals, to build a delicious, amazing, and pleasurable sex life. We can help you to become an amazing lover. We can give you the confidence that you need to succeed in bed. I should probably mention here that sex coaches do not do hands-on work, and neither do sex therapists. So no matter whose office you're in or who you're on a video call with, you're not going to be receiving any physical touch. Sex coaches do not do nudity. We do not do any actual interaction in that way. And I feel like I maybe should just caveat that I do not, and my colleagues do not come into physical contact with our clients. If you are looking for someone who can legally come into physical contact with you and your genitals, the person who you are looking for is a sexological body worker, and I will put a link to the certified sexological body worker directory in the description of this video. So if you are looking to level up in the sack, see quick wins, get results in a shorter period of time, or focus on accomplishing one goal, reach out to your friendly neighborhood sex coach today. Just kidding. She's probably not in your neighborhood. You gotta go online. And if you'd like to work with me in particular, go to the application form on my website. I will also put the link in the description below if you want me to be your sex coach and help you to get what you are looking for out of your sex life. So if that sounds like what you need, if you want to overcome premature ejaculation, if you just want to be the best lover she's ever had, if you want to work on your erectile dysfunction or making women orgasm, or just having a better sexual relationship with your partner, I may be your girl. Click the link in the description to apply for coaching today so that we can get you on your way to having an amazing sex life. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you here next time. Mwah.